you see the movie or?
I this is terrible, and I plan on watching it before the EP comes out. I haven't seen Varsity Blues before.
Oh my God, this is heartbreaking.
I know. I've
It's
seen Friday Night Lights, but I'll go. Honestly, this is great. I'm adding this to my to-do list for tonight. You going too?
oh yeah. I've
Yeah.
been in the green for the last 7, 8 days now. So I'm
What
like,
was your sleep score last night?
my what score?
Your sleep score.
I've been really good lately. So I've been sleeping. Actually, I had a 95 right now as far as my recovery,
I don't think I've ever gotten that high. That's good.
and 87 I got for sleep.
Let's see what my average recovery over. Yeah, that's pretty rough. So my average recovery is 60% because we're on the road and not getting much.
Well,
But
what is your sleep like? What do you actually?
I mean, this thing could tell you it's not good. My sleep is terrible, but it just depends. You're bouncing around different beds, different time zones, all
Yeah.
that stuff. So it's tough to keep a schedule, but we try as hard as we can to
Yeah,
keep
I've
something.
been on a roll ever since 4th of July. I've been, let's see, 8 out of 9 days in the green. So,
That is great. All right,
either
I got to step up my game because
Clayton, and once again, man, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate this. And
Absolutely, Jeff. Yeah,
it,
thanks for having me.
been listening to this on Spotify, continuous loop all day today. Even got the white T-shirt on today, just in honor
Let's go. I
of
love
your
it.
fashion tips here. So,
Yeah, you saw the video on TikTok.
oh
The
yes, yes. So
Nice.
when did that epiphany come about?
Like 3 months ago, I used to wear like a bunch of graphic t-shirts, which nothing wrong with that, but like nothing beats like a nice white t-shirt that fits good.
I mean, is there a certain brand, or is it just whatever you can find?
I like Buck Mason, but just a good fitting t-shirt. I think it looks sleek.
Does that make a concert time a real easy choice of what to wear?
It really does, honestly. Now I just have like a couple. They're not all white. Now I got some gray, black, all that. So I'll just pick one of them, whichever one's
What
clean,
was I
to
gonna
be
say?
honest.
For Varsity Blues, the name of the album. What was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, so Varsity Blues, it's really just about my upbringing growing up and young love. It's a trip down memory lane, nostalgia. It was kind of all these feelings I wanted to put into songs. And Varsity Blues was actually the last song to come into the project, but it tied the rest of them together and it made for exactly what I was seeing in my head and bringing that vision to life.
So it has nothing to do with them Mox or Tweeter or Billy Bob in the movie, or
No, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with Varsity Blues, the movie. I mean, some of the themes, of course, but yeah, it's definitely Friday Night Lights, Varsity Blues themed, but the inspiration wasn't drawn from
did you
that.
see the movie or?
I this is terrible, and I plan on watching it before the EP comes out. I haven't seen Varsity Blues before.
Oh my God, this is heartbreaking.
I know. I've
It's
seen Friday Night Lights, but I'll go. Honestly, this is great. I'm adding this to my to-do list for tonight.
What is your favorite sports movie? What's your
My favorite sports movie, that's a good question. I love Remember the Titans. I think right now it's probably Friday Night Lights with Booby Miles and all that. But Billy Bob Thornton is the coach. But um, yeah, I think I'll go with Friday Night Lights.
well going well coming from TCU, and then you toured with Logan Crosby, right?
Yeah. Just got off tour with Logan Crosby, and yes, I did go to TCU.
So did you get a lot of crap from him over 65-7 or?
I know that was terrible. Honestly, Logan's such a good dude. He didn't pick on me much at all. But that was a rough game. I was in LA for that game, and it was heartbreaking.
So how'd you get to TCU? What is your background? Where are you? Just going by, I think some of the notes. You went from West Coast, East Coast, found TCU. How did that work out?
Yeah, so I've definitely been all around, but I was raised in Pennsylvania. I went to high school and grade school in Massachusetts. When I was applying to schools, TCU was one of my favorites. I think I was drawn to the purple. I remember they had the coolest jerseys next to Oregon,
True.
um, and it just was a dream school of mine. And then when it came down to it, it was one of the best business schools I got into, and I wanted to go do sales, and they had I think they were like top 10 sales program at the time. So I applied on a whim and I think I really found home there, so I was lucky that I ended up there.
Oh, what part of Pennsylvania are you from?
So I grew up in Bryn Mawr,
I'm
Pennsylvania.
by Philly.
Yep,
Okay.
about maybe 40 minutes outside.
Yeah, I'm a little bit north of there, so
Where are you at?
I was not originally from Wilkes-Barre, PA.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
cool.
so,
And
yeah,
now you're in Phoenix or Scottsdale.
yeah, Scottsdale, yeah. What was it? Wilkes-Barre, Pittsburgh. New York, then came out here.
Nice. Well,
Uh,
we're similar.
I was
We've
gonna
been all
say,
over.
so did you
What's
have a
that?
business, a plan if music did not make out or did not work out? Or did you have a plan B already set up or?
I mean, it's not even like music was the plan A. I mean, the plan A was always go get a sales job, and music just came in and kind of pushed that all away. So it's not like I had dreamed about doing this and like had a backup plan. It was always the original plan was to go graduate, get a job out of college, and go work and climb the corporate ladder. But about a month before graduating, I got a call from a lady named Courtney Allen, who is my publisher now, and she wanted to sign me to a publishing deal, and I honestly, at the time, I didn't know what it was, but I moved to town on a whim, and it really wasn't Plan A. It became Plan A in the matter of a couple days, and I told the job I was going to go work for that I'm not working for them, and I'm moving to Nashville on a whim.
How did that all evolve then? How what was like the first, I guess the first your intro to music?
Yeah, so I mean, my intro to music was definitely at a young age. My dad and siblings would play it around the house, but in college, it really happened. I just, like any kid, I pulled up my phone and I started posting cover songs, and people liked it. And then, you get interested, you see other guys writing their own songs, so I started writing some songs and posting them. And it really was just a passion and a hobby. I never thought I was going to do anything. I played gigs on the weekends for the first couple months, and it was just like get some extra cash to buy some beer on the weekends in college. But it quickly turned into a serious thing while I was still in school. And that's when I realized that I might have a chance to go do it professionally, which I'm so thankful for. But it wasn't this plan A, this dream that I was always pursuing. It came about very naturally, which was a cool thing. But I think just because I had that passion for it on the side, it never felt like work. And I realized I was spending all these hours, all these weekends out on the road playing shows, and then it kind of just turned into this full-time deal. So it happened slowly but surely, and we kind of just yeah, it just came into fruition over time.
But what were some of the original songs that or I guess the original cover songs that you were playing?
I think a lot of Chris Stapleton for sure, a lot of Morgan Wallen. I think the first song that started going semi-viral was a cover of an Adele song called "Easy on Me." So it was like mixing genres. But I mean, I think I was singing anything and everything, the trends, the classics, and just posting them and hoping that they were going to catch some attention.
Well, I think Chevy did mention once that like, your story is not like the typical former athlete blows his knee out and then turns to country music. Or
Oh, it is not. It
well, did
is.
you? I saw your shot the other day. Your one of your Instagram posts or reels. You had a nice jump shot. Like, where'd you get that from?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know where I got that jump shot from. To be honest, it's usually broken half the time. But no, basketball was my sport growing up and in high school and stuff. We fell short of a state championship my senior year, and I'm still heartbroken from that. So I think a lot of the songwriting inspiration comes from that. But I mean, the jump shot, I was never the scorer. I was always the grit guy. I was the guy who they put in if they needed somebody to guard somebody, if they needed to get a foul, if we needed, like I was the pick me up, I was the dude who was going to hustle more than anybody else on the court. But I never was the most talented guy, so it was always I had to make up for it with some hard work.
Well, how big are you?
I'm not that big. I'm just shy of 6 feet, about 185 pounds.
It's not too small. That's so. What?
No, basketball when you're playing with a bunch of guys who we had a guy who was 6'11", point guard was
Okay,
6'3", a couple guys
perspective.
5. Yeah.
It puts that in perspective a little bit. So, what was your
Yeah.
athletic background? I guess back in high school, before music, before everything else.
Yeah, so my dad, he played college football and baseball. My uncles, aunts and uncles, they all did Division 1 sports at a lot of the colleges in Pennsylvania. But my background grew up just playing, t-ball and then Little League and Pop Warner football. And in high school, I tried a little bit of everything. I played golf in high school. We won 2 state championships, which I will go on the women's say I was not a part of those. I was on the team, but I was one of the backup players, so I wasn't competing in the state championship. But I do have a ring.
You got the ring for it, though.
Yeah, I got a couple rings,
You
which is
still
cool.
wear it or sport it around, or is that just like on display
I,
somewhere?
I never wore it because I didn't feel like I deserved it. I was one of the sub guys. So yeah, I mean I say I'm a state champion, but it's always got the asterisks on it.
Well, you've gotten better now since then.
That's a good question. I think I've gotten worse, but then I think I'm starting to get better now. I started off getting worse in college because we were drinking beers or whatever on the course, but now I'm starting to dial in the game a little bit more.
Do you get the chance to go when you're on tour now? do you get a chance like now just to tour more across the U.S. like courses, golf courses around?
I don't think we're at the spot yet where we can do that. Still in a van, so typically after a show we gotta drive a couple more hours. So I think that might be the I made it moment when I get to play around a golf before a show and we're not driving the van.
What's your best place so far?
The best place, so this past weekend we played Pelican Hill, which is in Newport Beach, California, which was beautiful. It was right on the coast, right on PCH. I shot an 85, but I think it was a solid round given it was my first time playing it in a pretty tough course.
It's not too bad, I guess.
No, it's not too
Hmm.
bad.
Well, I saw, like I said, going scrolling through your Instagram, I saw one post that was, I don't know what the shot was. You looked pretty happy about it. And then
Oh yeah.
right here in the background was that's all the Soho House paying off.
Oh right, right. Yeah. That was at one of the fundraiser golf tournaments. It was for the farmers. And yeah, that was the par three contest. And I think I put it a little short of the pin, but it was a nice shot.
So you're hitting the gym now? Just, I mean,
That
you get
that was
that
just
golf shot?
the guy who was he was on that whole John to pretty much his goal was to chirp or like yell at guys as they're hitting to throw them off. But he goes to the Soho gym as well, so he was just making fun of me because we see each other in there.
So what is your routine like right now?
Yeah, I mean, I know you're big into fitness as well, obviously country muscle, but I used to do like the push pull leg split. Now I do kind of full body stuff. I started doing workouts that they're pretty quick, so they're about 45 minutes, but I run a mile and then I'll usually do some sort of like bench, either shoulders or back. So probably I'll start with a bench, maybe push-ups and pull-ups, and then do some like other like supplemental stuff like biceps or triceps. And then I don't do barbell squats, so I usually do like a goblet squat or lunges and stuff like that to keep the legs strong.
Now, is it hard now on the road to find a place, just find the time to do it, or
Yeah, it's probably the hardest to find the time. The other thing is you're so stiff from sitting in the van, so you got to stretch probably for 30 minutes before even attempting to do a lift. But we typically, anytime we're staying at a hotel, if there's a gym, we'll make sure to get in because it's not often that we get to work out. A lot of the band guys will go for runs or walks. Sometimes if we're waiting on a flight in the airport, we'll just like literally, most people don't want to carry their luggage, but we'll do walks through the airport carrying luggage just to get a little bit of a workout in if we're like waiting on a plane or a layover.
no? I was looking at that a little bit as well. I think in Kansas City, where you I think carry your own equipment. Do you do like a lot of I guess set prepping or putting set together? What's
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now we're at a spot where we're just bootstrapping the whole thing. So it's all hands on deck. Every guy's playing a couple roles. My brother's TMing and selling merch, and the band guys are their own techs, so they're helping set up all the equipment. So there's no space for me to not be helping out. So always helping unload the trailer, set up the gear, and just make sure the show runs as smooth as possible.
so like what is the difference in the life of Clayton Mullen on the road than say a Tim McGraw right now? Like what do you do now that he doesn't have to do?
You know what? I mean, the first thing I will say is that Tim McGraw and every other guy had to do it at some point. So
Mhm.
you got to earn your stripes and work your way up. But I mean, I think the luxuries that they might have is they might be able to, sleep on the bus and step off, and when it's time to sound check, they get to just go right up and it's set up. Whereas me, I'm driving the van, packing up the stuff, picking up the trailer, loading up the gear, folding the merch, counting the merch, selling the merch, all that stuff, everything that goes with it.
Now, you design the merch too, don't you? Or
Oh yeah, I do. How'd you know that? I do design
I
it.
did. I saw it before this morning.
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely design the merch. I've gotten decent at it. One of my buddies from high school will help out too. If I'll send him like a mock up and then he'll bring it to life a little bit more if I need it. But yeah, I get these visions in my head. Same thing with songs, same thing with production. And sometimes I feel like if I want it to be done the way I see it, I got to just attack it. So it might take me longer to accomplish it than maybe a graphic designer, but we get the job done.
Now, do you have the final say in like all designs, or you
Oh,
just?
I get. I mean, yeah. I mean, it kind of just goes me designing it, send it over to my manager, and they'll send the email out to the merch company, and we'll get it done.
I mean, at any point, have you said like, well, you know what? Maybe this didn't look as good now as it did in my head.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think I still have some t-shirts from like 2022 when I was in college, and I started selling them for like $10 a piece because I'm like, all right, this design might not have been as good as I thought it was back in the day.
So like imagine like a clearance section coming up on your website very soon, right? With all
Yeah,
the fancy
we'll
t-shirts.
definitely have a clearance section. But no, they're still cool t-shirts, and they mark like definitely a period of the touring that was essential to growing it.
Well, to get everything done right now, I mean, to do, I guess, all the administrative work, the designing, I guess, what do you call it? The set, I had this word, not set prep, like road, God, I can't even think of the word right now. But
Printing
just
or
setting up the stage, setting up your
yeah. Oh
equipment. I can't even think of the
uh,
word right now. I mean, do you have like,
landscape.
how do you get it all done? What has to be, I guess, sacrificed or pushed to the side in order just to get everything on career-wise, get everything
I
100.
think rest probably would be the one thing you got to sacrifice. So, there's not much time usually. I mean, by the end of the night after driving, unloading, setting up the stage, playing the show, packing up, selling merch, saying thank you to all the fans. Um, you start to get exhausted. So by the end of the night, you like it feels worse than like you're more tired than playing a football game or a basketball game. So typically, like right when we get to the hotel, you just crash and fall asleep because you've been working all day.
So like, how long is your day? Like,
I mean, they're probably 12-hour, 15-hour days. It really depends, but a couple of these tours we've been on have been routed for a tour bus, but we're in a van, so you're driving 8 hours in the morning, or you do 4 hours the night before, 4 hours the next night. You get there, you load, you sound check. That might take a couple hours, and then you might get an hour or two to shower and eat, and then you're playing the show, and then you're unpacking, and then you're always on because you're you know just there's a lot to be done, so it becomes long days, but it is all worth it.
it's like I didn't hear eating come up. Like, do you have like a problem or trying to squeeze in like regular meals or like just quality meals or
Yeah, I mean, quality meals, we stick with Chipotle and Chick-fil-A for the most part, and then sometimes the venues will have some food, and that's when you luck out and get something good.
do you worry about that at this point, or are you burning off enough calories doing everything else that you don't have to worry about macros and
I mean, I'm mindful of it. So I did keto for the first time this year, and I definitely it's not a long-term diet I would do, but I try and stick to in my mind being carb friendly. So like when we're out on the road, just try not to eat too many carbs. You might not be burning as many calories one day if you're in the van, but then if you're, the next day you might make up for it by burning 3,500 calories because you're in the heat and sweating and all that stuff. So it's not something that I stick to a regimen for, but I'm definitely mindful of it.
well, I even asked before, like, what was your moment? What was the moment that said, hey, I'm going to be really good at this. I can make a career out of this instead of just playing in college bars the rest of my life? Or what was like that big breakthrough moment that said, wow, this could be.
Yeah, that's a really great question, and I don't think there was one moment. And to be honest, I don't think I've had that moment yet, which is, I think, a good thing. I feel like we've just been slowly growing this whole time, and we're just waiting for a song or something to break. So I wouldn't say I've had that moment quite yet, which I think hopefully is a good thing.
Well, how did the songwriting evolve from college until I guess now you're with Blake Shelton's and Dirk Bentley's writers now?
I'm with Concord. I'm sure there's some writers over there that have written some songs for those guys.
Hmm.
Um, but it was kind of just this thing that one of my buddies, Palmer Anthony, he's a Texas country artist. We met in Fort Worth. He was living there at the time. I was going to school there, and we got together and wrote a song, which is called South of Forever. And for a while, it was my biggest song. But I really didn't write that many songs before signing my publishing deal. I think it was a very is probably not one of a kind, but there are very few people out there that I think were in a situation like me, and I'm very lucky and grateful for it. But before signing my deal, I had only written maybe 10 songs, which isn't very common. Normally you write 200 and then throw them out and then write 200 more. But I think because of the people I was surrounded with and I was writing with, the songs were a little bit more elevated, and I learned so much from those guys. And then it led to writing with guys in Nashville, and then the songs became even more elevated. So just because of the support system I had and the way I was connected into the industry, it definitely expedited that writing process for me.
Like, what is it like? What is like the songwriting process like for you? Do you just sit there 9 to 5? You sit there just when you're inspired, or how does that play out?
It can happen whenever it can happen. So you do typically write from 11 to 3 in Nashville, but me and my roommates, we bought a Costco hot tub, a blow up hot tub, and we put it on the rooftop. And a lot of my ideas come when I'm sitting up there, just thinking about life and stuff. And I'll sometimes when I'm driving, something might pop in my head, and I'll pull out my phone and hit a voice memo. So it really can happen at all times. I've picked up reading, I've picked up trying to watch some shows, just anything to get inspiration from other forms of writing. And a lot of my inspiration comes from there. But it really can hit you at any time. So you just gotta always be intentional about realizing when something hits you and writing it down.
Like what kind of shows would inspire you? What's
It's a good question. I'm trying a whole bunch of different things, documentaries. Right now I'm watching a show called I'm blanking on it. It's called what is it called? Line Spot. It's like a CIA, FBI type. So those ones might not spark as
did
much
you watch them all
inspiration.
yet? My wife just
I
binged on those. She just binged on all 6 seasons within like a week.
No way. So I'm probably on episode 20 right now, but it's great. It's been good to watch in the van and on travel days and stuff like that. But like Daisy Jones and the Six, I'm not sure if you've seen that, but it's like loosely inspired off Fleetwood Mac.
Hmm.
Stuff like that, just anything that I can draw inspiration from.
That's Blind Spot's so funny. That's so random. That's like even about 6 or 7 years ago too.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It literally just popped up on my Netflix, and I'm a guy who I can lose attention pretty easily, so I need something that's pretty fast paced, and it caught me in.
Was that kind of your genre that you usually watch, like CIA, murder,
Yeah, I
FBI
think
type of stuff?
one of my favorite shows of all time is Dexter. So that's just straight murder and he's a serial killer, but definitely that. And then, my favorite series of all time is probably the Yellowstone stuff, the 1883, 1923, the Yellowstone. And that's where a lot of inspiration is drawn to Taylor Sheridan and all that stuff.
Like, how do you get inspired by that? What would bring out something?
It could just be two words that are connected, like, for example, like looking behind country muscle, like I don't know that that would necessarily draw inspiration to a song, but just the ring to it, or cowboy or concrete cow,
Hmm.
whatever it is, you could just hear someone say it. It could be whatever the storyline is between the two main characters, and then draw into your own experiences and remembering, oh, there's this truck and you had to sell it because this, and then it reminds you of your grandfather, and then like anything like that can just spark inspiration. And you just got to be intentional and open, let it just kind of come to you.
I mean, do you consider yourself now like an up and comer? Do you consider yourself like a bona fide country singer, superstar, anything like that? What?
Yeah, I would absolutely consider myself an up and comer. I'm very grateful that I get to do it for a living. And the thing I'm most excited about is like I feel like we're underrated. We're definitely up and comer, but I think we got some music that's really great that's coming out, and I hope people hear it and start to pay attention to what we're doing.
Well, when you say you get inspired by like Blind Spot and all those type of shows, do you get anything from watching guys like Sam Hunt, Randall King when they're on stage and your set is done? Do you watch them and say, okay, maybe I can take a note here, a note there?
Absolutely, 100%. And I think so the TV shows and books and stuff help inspire or give me ideas for songwriting. But in terms of watching a live show, I gain so much from watching the guys that we open for. Um, from anywhere from Logan Crosby to Sam Hunt to Randall King. I've picked pieces of each of their shows and figured out how I can do that to my show. And if they do a talking point here, where can I do mine that makes the most sense? And how can we fit in songs and transition the best way possible? So I learned so much from all those guys, and it's been like touring 101. You get to learn from the best guys, and it expedites your touring process by watching great guys like that.
Well, does Randall King talk nonstop about Mahomes and the Chiefs when you're on
Not
stage?
nonstop, only when I'm there because I'm an Eagles fan. But no, he doesn't. He'll break out a jersey if it's Kansas City or whatever, or maybe back in Lubbock. But no, he Randall's a great guy.
Well, you brought up one point here when they tell you like when to stop, or you try to figure out when to stop and start talking to the audience. I asked like the Dylan Scott one time, like, is it natural? Do you just spot somebody in the audience and just start focusing on them? I mean, when you're up there performing, can you spot the audience? Can you look around and say, hey, there's something worth stopping and talking about, or just interacting with them, or is
Absolutely. And that's something I'm trying to do more of. So you obviously have your set talking points that you want to do every set, but one of the best things is building an audience connection. I think being open to what the crowd's giving you is definitely something that better artists do, and it's great to build off. You're almost like not a stand-up comedian, but you got to work with the crowd as if you are one at some certain points. And if they're giving you something, you got to grab onto it and give it back. So that's something that I'm learning right now for sure.
I mean, when you do perform, do you have like a routine? Do you have like I guess, a game day prep that you got to go through the same routine right before you get on stage?
Yeah, loosely. I don't like to eat, a couple hours before, which sometimes bites me in the ass because if I haven't eaten and then it's within the window, then I might be hungry. But drink a lot of water. I'll definitely do some honey. Like there's some honey bites that you can suck on that will keep your throat lubricated. And then I'll sometimes have a like little mask that'll blow steam in my lungs that'll keep everything warm. Just maybe turn on the shower in the green room and let it steam up, and then just sit with the guys and get ready, talk over the show, remind them how important they are to everything, and then go and kick some ass.
How exhausting is, I guess, a performance? Like, is it how much of a workout do you really need, or how to be in shape to get through a 60, 90 minute performance?
Yeah, it's mostly a workout on the vocal cords. It's about keeping those healthy. I think there's always room to grow in terms of like how much you're moving around on stage, and I think that's something that I'm continuing to grow on. And when you're in Salt Lake City at a higher elevation, you might be losing your breath quicker, so it's something to be mindful of. But our set right now isn't something that's necessarily like this crazy running around, jumping on stage, so it's not like this big workout quite yet. But you never know. Maybe the songs will get there, and we'll get a crazy show going.
Do you still get nervous yet, going on stage?
You know, it really depends. If nerves do come, it's typically not because of the size of the crowd. It's normally because of variables that I'm worried about in terms of gear going out or, you know, ears interference. Like sometimes we'll get interference with our ears. So I'm past the point of really getting nervous about the show and about the performance and more about if we put a new song into the set, if every band guy's going to be locked in, if we if we're using new equipment, trying out some new gear, if it's going to run right, if it's hot and the something might overheat. So that's typically what makes me the most nervous.
So is that like the kind of like the sound man in you, or like the all-in-one type of guy? You got to remember if you set the speakers up right, or all that
Exactly.
stuff. Is that going in the 20 years down the road? Is that something you're going to forget and not worry about and let
I
everybody
hope
else take
so.
care
I
of?
hope that I never have to worry about an XLR cord being plugged right or anything like that.
Well, what's the best advice someone's given you so far?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I mean, Corey Kent once told me everybody is one song away, and he told me that when I was, younger and before it, and it really is true because no matter what point you're at, if you're a guy who had a one-hit wonder or if you're a guy who's been putting great songs out for years, you're always one song away, and it might come quicker to somebody else, but you can't you just got to keep putting out songs. You can't slow down. You got to keep giving people stuff to latch on to, and it takes one song to change somebody's life.
I mean, has writing been easier for you now, or does it get easier, or is it more stressful? Now, when you hear something like, well, you're one song away, do you now have to, I don't want to say force it, but now you're thinking more like, let me make this one song.
No, it almost makes it like less of a stress because it almost makes you want to just put out more and not worry about it because if you put out, I'm never thinking in my mind that this is going to be the song. I'm putting it out there and I just know any song could catch because in the past I've thought this is going to be the one. Start at the End, that was a song that I believed in, and it's one of my favorite songs I've ever put out, but it didn't break the way that we thought it might. And if you try and predict what a song's going to do in your head, the only thing that can happen is you're going to be let down. So I've tried to stop thinking about that and really just, make songs that I love and put them out consistently and build a fan base and not hold songs back from the audience, but also, just keep in mind like one song can change your life and you got to be ready to follow that up. So it's like you got to have songs in the chamber. You can't just put out a song and not have anything else to follow it up. You got to be strategic about having a catalog ready to go.
Well, have you had that one moment yet? That wow moment, like, well, I can't believe I'm actually on stage here.
Definitely. I think a couple times you look out to the crowd and you're usually locked in, but you might for 1 second be like, oh crap, that's a lot of people. And or even just, oh crap, look at that view. Like we were playing in to LA, Utah at Country Summer, I want to say it was last year. And you're playing this festival and it's Corey Kent after you, and then it's Bailey Zimmerman, Ella Langley, all these people and that you're playing opening a show for. And it's pretty surreal because, like just a couple of years ago, me and my buddies were listening to them on a back porch drinking beers, and now you're opening a show for them. You're getting to meet them backstage. So those are pretty cool
I
moments.
asked you, do you have any routine when you go from city to city? Do you have to stop in and go find a Whole Foods or go find a Chipotle, or do you find a gym somewhere? Do you have anything where you that you do from town to town that's a must do?
Yeah, I like trying new coffee shops and stuff like that. Sometimes we'll stick to the Starbucks, but one thing, especially out on that Logan Crosby tour, because a bunch of those guys were into coffee, we'd find a coffee shop and sit in the local one. So I definitely enjoy that. One thing I want to start doing, which I wish I had done earlier, is grabbing a sticker from each state that we play in and throwing it on the back of the van. I think it'd be a cool way just to collect memories. I think I did the math a couple days ago, and I might be wrong, but I think we've played in almost like 30 states now. So it'd be cool to keep track of all the ones we're playing in.
Have you hit Arizona yet?
Arizona? No, no, I don't think so.
Come in the fall. Don't come in the summertime.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, I had a layover there yesterday, and I think it's at 110 degrees. So
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to come in the
Yeah.
summertime.
It was 118 last week, and it was
Jeez.
118 is no joke.
Can't even step outside.
You don't. You just it was I think it was 101 at 4 in the morning. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it doesn't stop now till October. So yeah, come.
Well, make sure if we come, we're gonna try and do it during the fall or winter.
So what is next now?
Yes, we got Varsity Blues coming out. We're
In two
playing our
weeks.
first Nashville show. So we've played CMA Fest and stuff like that, but we're opening for Randall King at the Brooklyn Bowl. So that'll be check off the bucket list. And then, we're just getting ready. We got some stuff in the works that hopefully will become public knowledge soon on some songs and placements and stuff like that. And we got some songwriter cuts in the works that hopefully will be coming out soon. And I think there's a lot of good stuff going on behind the scenes that I'm excited to get out to the world.